Welcome to part 2 of our physics workshop. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, circus arts workshop with Matica Circus. We have here today Heidi Kirchofer and Joel Melendez of Matica Arts. I'm Margaret Pastel, the Youth Services Librarian at the Westport Library, and it is my pleasure to be here today, especially after that wonderful performance. I would like to thank Bud and Roz Siegel, whose generous support make Camp Explore possible. Thanks to the Siegels, we were able to present Camp Explore workshops all summer, covering a wide range of topics, including today's. I would also like to thank everyone at the Westport Library for their behind-the-scenes work on this series. Remember, kids, ask questions. You can't learn, and we love to help. We like to see your creativity and enthusiasm, and we want to make this successful. So, the co-founders of Matica Arts and Thrive Movement Studio are here today. Heidi is a veteran performing teaching artist who has traveled internationally, training, collaborating, and performing. Joel is a gifted performer known for his unicycling, as we all saw, clowning, juggling, improvisational, and acrobatic skills. Joel is a physical artist who loves exploring the vast capabilities of the human body. And as a physical artist, also, Heidi is inspired by the body's endless movement combination and in awe of its ability to create, work, and heal. I will now turn this over to Heidi, and we'll all get this workshop started. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. So we're just gonna get into it. We're gonna learn how to make some juggling balls. First thing we're gonna do is take your sandwich bag, non-Ziploc, right? And I have everyone has a cup. I have a line on this one. So this determines how much sand we put in this cup, determines how big each ball will be. So I have this, it's maybe a little less than half. Depending on the size of your hands, you might want it a little smaller or a little bigger. So you're just gonna scoop up some sand. We're gonna try to have it, take note how much you have in there because we wanna have them approximately the same size. Yeah? So there's a few stations with sand, so just go ahead and find them there. And then you're gonna take that sand and put it in the bag. Yeah, we'll do that 3 times. So scoop some sand. We want to more or less have the same amount. Yeah, and here's my third one. If they're not exact, you can always go back like later if you're saying, oh, they're too big or a little too small. We can undo what we've done and fix them. Right. The next thing we'll need are the balloons and some scissors. So it looks like most people are all set. So what we're gonna do is take the balloon, but we're gonna take the neck and we're gonna cut the neck of the balloon off. So if you hold it with like a thumb and your ring finger, and then your two first fingers, you can stretch it a little bit and snip it. It's not an exact science, but about like that. What's that? All right, and we're gonna do that with all of the balloons. So all 6 of the balloons, we're just gonna remove the neck. You can think on some amazing art project that you can do with those necks. I haven't come up with anything yet. So the necks we're discarding, and the round part we're keeping. Good?
So where the pipe hits the round part of the...
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. They're cutting it closer to the...
We're cutting off where it gets skinny.
Yeah. Cut where it gets skinny,
Right? There's the ball part, sort of, the round part. And if it's a little higher or lower, it's okay. And if you made a mistake, there's more balloons. Yeah.
Just don't have more fingers.
Yeah. Yep. So if you hold it with 2 fingers like that, and then the other 2 fingers to stretch it tight, and then a little snip. It's a great way to hold it. First finger in middle, and then the other 2 fingers pull it. Give it a little tug, just to keep it taut. All right, so if you are all set, so we're gonna shape these into balls, right? But we wanna close it up a little bit. So we're gonna fold this over, just rolling it over. We're gonna try to push the air out as we go and just roll this up. Let's just do 1, because it'll come undone. Now is a little tricky part. You can use a friend to help you. So just ball it up. This is how, I'm gonna show you how to do it just by yourself, but we can also have a friend do it. So first I'm gonna show you how to do it yourself. I'm gonna hold it with 2 fingers, right? I got it with 2 fingers on each hand, and then I'm gonna wrap the balloon and shove it inside. The sandwich bag. See that? You can have a friend help you by your friend holds it open, and then you put the sandwich bag inside the sand. So that's two options. So again, this is the wrapping. We're just gonna seal your sandwich bag, roll it down, push the air out as you go. Yep, use your friends. And then we're gonna do that 3 times. Right, open it up. It's okay if the balloons get turned inside out. The one on the bottom, the first one we put on, isn't gonna show as much. Good? What's that? Okay. This is the tricky part, right? You got it. So if you've gotten, we're going to do all three. So I'm going to go on to the second one. I have some options. I'm going to show you. So the little neck, you can see where it is. These are pretty small, so I maybe could have trimmed this off a little more if they're bigger, but you're not going to see this one anyway. So for the second layer, I'm going to take the balloon, and I want to put that where the neck was. I want to put that side in first. So now that we already have it, it's a little easier to put it in there. So I can open it up here and put it in like that. And you can still see the neck. So this, I have blue on top of blue, so you don't really notice. I'm going to go ahead. You can take it back off again if it's not quite right. I'm going to trim it down a little more so it doesn't show that puckery bit. Yep. Good. So that's what it looks like when it's the same color. If you're like, oh, I love many colors together, you can also not do the same color on top of the same color. Right? If I put the red on top of the green, then you can see it underneath. People will tend to pull them apart if they notice that. So sometimes I prefer that. So then people don't take them apart. And that's it. So if you decide, oh my goodness, they're too small or they're too large, you can just undo what you did, fill them up a little more, or take some sand out. Just gonna do it one time. No, it's fine. If you give them a little bit of a roll in your hands, then you can make them a little bit rounder. It's easier to make them rounder if they're a little bigger. And it's preference too for the size that you like. You might be like, oh, it's so much easier if they're smaller, or maybe you want one. Right, this is the original one I made. It still fits pretty well in my palm, and this one's a little larger. I went back. And that's it. And as the balloons, they will wear out, and you can just replace the balloon. I mean, you get a lot of play before they wear out. And then you can find a cool art project to do with these. Let me know if you figure something out.
Masks.
What's that?
Masks.
Masks, sure. I mean, I just trimming it here, they made like colorful like rubber bands. I did that second trim, so those are kind of fun. All right. So now you just need to learn how to juggle. You got it? Good. Yeah, everybody get all three? And so that's the difference. Like this one I went back and put a little more sand in, so it's a little firmer. All right. You want me to hold this one open for you?
No, I got it.
You got it? Cool. You got it? Yeah, that's exactly how it is. You can put, if you want them to be a little tighter, like this one's a little more full, so it's a little tighter. You can put more balloons on it too. You can use more than two.
More balloons.
You could put, you know. You got it?
What do you need?
You want me to pull it tight for you? Yeah. There you go. Yep, it's just small, so it's not as tight. But they still work fine. Good? So if they're uneven, it's a little trickier for juggling, especially at first. Of course, you can juggle like a club and a ball and a shoe, maybe, but it's harder. Something else. What else? It's the first thing that came to mind. You got it? Yeah, and if you kind of roll it in your hands, then it. All right. So do you remember, did everybody see the show, or did some people come late after that? You saw the show? Okay. So remember the tiki-taki thing?
Then what I'd like to do is, once they have their balls, push the tables out of the way.
Sure. Does everybody, we need another? I know we definitely don't want the sand going everywhere. Looks like this one is. Are they?
Ready, Spaghetti? If you're ready, let me get your...
Yeah, they're like stress balls too. You can use them for that. Yeah, people will definitely, like, your friends get a hold of them, even if they don't end up juggling. They're popular just for that. All right.
All right, this table, if you don't mind, just pushing it back to that. Well, we gotta undo. Check the feet. And just roll this out of the way.
Looks like this one, sorry.
He's still working. Y'all done?
Yeah, it's like a box.
You can't juggle and hold the phone at the same time. You have to make a decision what you want to do. Okay, put your phone on the table or in your helmet. Put your helmet on the table. Y'all set? Are you going to trim a little bit or are you all set? You want to trim? Yeah. What? Okay, we need 2 blue balloons. Okay, I'm going to.
And a dark blue face.
Okay, so you're good with those two.
This one's sort of got air in it.
It has a little air. Yeah. Well, you know how to fix it. Just to take it apart. You can fix it later.
Oh, it's really good. But I tied a knot in the bag.
It's about these test subjects who think that they're in heaven.
There's probably air can still squeak out, I bet you.
Just now entering.
It's not the end of the world. But now you know how to make them, so you can make them. Like there's sandwich bags, balloons, and sand. You can also use rice, popcorn, beans, like dried beans.
Do you use like popcorn kernels?
Oh yeah, unpopped popcorn.
And you are doing it on top of fire.
You have vision. You have to create an innovative act. All right. Maybe I'll just show how the pattern goes in your hands. So maybe we can just have you guys step in front of the table if you're ready to start. Then we don't have to mess with the tables and the helmets. Yeah, just come in front. Okay. So, yeah, just if you're ready, just come in front of the table, and then you don't have to worry about being able to move is good, because when we first learn to juggle, the balls often go forward, and then we need to go forward to kind of chase them. And as they become less that way. So a really good practice is to start with one ball. So it's throw and catch, right? That's pretty much, this is everything. And if you can do it with one, you eventually can do it with 3. We want about forehead height, approximately. If it's too low, we don't have enough time. If it's too high, well, you need higher tosses for more than 3. But for now, we'll just do, right? Left to right and right to left. Woo! Good. All right, we're gonna move ahead even though, looks like, oh, yeah, come forward, come in front of the table. Yep. Okay, so 2 is when it gets, it's only 1 to 2, but it gets trickier for sure. So what we want is them both to go in the air and make a little peak. Left to right and right to left. See that? Left, right, and right, left. So try to do one hand throwing. A lot of times what I see is this, which is a thing. There is a trick where they go in a circle, but the basic juggle is up and up. Yeah? So make sure both hands, sometimes what will happen is we don't even realize that we're passing down low. So act like there's a wall in between, and you have to go over the little wall. They make like an M, 2 mountain peaks, up, up. It's really good for your brain. And try to have them be pretty even, right? We don't want one high throw. Often it's the left hand if you're not a lefty that is trickier. Up, up. So often when I was learning to juggle, if I would be working on 2 and I dropped 1, then I'd go back to 1 for a while and be like, okay, because the 1 is really the foundation of 3. So if you're doing 2 and you drop 1, just stick with that 1 for a minute. Then add the 2 back, the second one. And they do want to go at different times, kind of like walking, right? It's 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, this is moving a little fast. Anybody ready for 3? So when you feel like, I'm pretty solid with 2, then we go for 3. So how it works is one hand is going to hold 2, and one hand is going to hold 1. After that initial throw, you won't have 2 balls in one hand again. So what it is, I'm going to show with Joelle here. So this one is going to throw, and then before it lands, that one, right? They keep, you see that? So after the initial, it never has 2 in one hand again until you stop. And you can start with them both in your right hand or your left hand. It's up to you. You got it? No problem? Yeah, so just throw that right hand. Yeah. All right. When you drop them.
They're full of sand.
Yeah.
They're full of sand.
The nice thing actually about these is
they'll continue to roll.
Is they don't roll away from you, right? So if you drop them and they're, say, like a tennis ball, oh, you spend your half day chasing them. But these ones don't go anywhere. So if they flatten, then...
It's impossible for it to run away.
Right. Well, it probably could if you were, like, juggling on the side of a hill or something. I don't know.
Or you're juggling on the conveyor belt. It'll go like...
We can invent some scenarios where they would get away from you. Good? Yeah, you just put them back. You're like, I don't like the flat spot. But you can juggle if it's flat.
So if it's like here, it has a dent,
You can sculpt it. Yeah. Because the balloon's round, it wants to be round-ish. Right? Doot, 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 doot. Yep. Got it?
Dad has the picture of the outlet on the floor.
There's a lot of them.
And I dropped it on it. Right in the middle.
Probably don't need this anymore, right? I take this.
Well, they actually do take your comments if you have recommendations on how they're doing.
Okay.
What they need to do.
Oh, well, yeah, that's why I said step away from the tables, because the beginning, people end up walking. So you just, is that what you mean?
I find like when I'm trying to throw them, that my hands are like, see, like one is.
Oh, yeah.
Keep try to like press in to see if that helps, or
I just going back to one, like your one hand is throwing differently than the other. Yeah. And often people end up, and you just have to, sometimes people will say juggle against a wall. So you just don't go anywhere, but what is people just throwing forward?
Yeah.
So you just try to, yeah, I mean, I think about like having a good stacked, stance and not having my weight forward so that I'm not throwing forward. Yeah. And eventually you want to be able to juggle and have like a soft gaze so that you're not,
deadly, yeah.
right. So that's like when we're passing, right? I don't want to be looking at my pattern. I want to be sort of
Taking it all in.
right. In case one comes here, or whatever. So that's.
That might be something good to stand in front of everybody and say it to the whole group about this stance and
Okay.
so they can see you and you can demonstrate.
Yep. So we were just talking about how to, like at first sometimes you end up walking, and I try to think about having just like a nice stacked posture or stance, right? If I'm starting and I'm sort of here, they're gonna go forward, but if I can kind of think about, I'm just standing over my feet and keeping an open chest, right? And here, just be here. And it's normal for them to kind of want to get away from you as you're starting. But you just practice not doing that. You can always go back to one. Yeah, see, it's that left hand. It's often the left hand that needs some attention. I'm a lefty, but if you're not a lefty, sometimes the left hand doesn't get as much of a workout. So just go back to whichever hand it is. If you have one hand that's consistently throwing funny, just go back and have that hand throw. Whose purple one is it? That's your? 1, 2. 1, 2, like you're walking. See? 1, 2, 1. Like there's a thing called joggling, where you go juggling and jogging. And there's even weighted juggling balls, so you're getting like an arm workout while you're joggling. So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If they go at the same time, it's harder, really. Right? If I go like that, because they have to do, what's that? It's easier? Well, then they have to do the same thing at the same time. I mean, there are tricks too, so that is a thing. And then there's like 2 with one hand, all sorts of things, right? Like here.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, I got 1.
That's the prescription for 4.
I got 1.
And then you can go to 3, and then you go back to 2.
How about foot juggling?
What's that?
Foot juggling.
There is foot juggling. It's amazing. Usually you're like laying on your back, and you juggle with your feet.
It's like doing bicycling.
It is. It's amazing. It's really, I do know an American foot juggler, but there are often Chinese.
Wait there.
It's like a really big, what's
How
that?
do you foot juggle?
Usually you're lying down, and you're often umbrellas. Yeah.
Oh, you have to wear a football helmet to just.
Well, these won't hurt too much. That's another good thing about these. Although there's not
Or
usually.
you can get foam balls to do the foot juggle.
And there's also bounce, where they bounce and you throw them. And then I do know a guy who he adds his feet in, and he has like His name is Michael Motion. He's one of the... It's pretty cool.
Can you
I don't practice that, no. It's like a really, it's a whole nother thing. It's not really juggling like this.
Oh, I caught one. I think I'm getting it. Yes.
Yeah, it's coming. Nice. It does come, even if it's challenging. Yeah.
One, but not two. Oh my God, I can one. I can do two, and then I keep on missing.
1, 2,
It's like
1,
slides my, it just bumps my thumb and goes down. So close.
2.
Oh, I did it.
You got it?
I can't do it. That's William. Because I forget about like one ball.
The other hand forgets.
Yeah.
It's a tricky thing. That's why it's like, people say muscle memory. Not sure, but that you train the hand so it just does the thing that you're asking it. So you don't have to be thinking too much. Doop, doop. So that's why we're drilling it, so that when your hand throws, it throws that same way every time. Right? So you don't have to because we are asking the brain to do, oh wait, that's not mine. I'm not sure where they all went. Not sure which ones are. No? Did I have? I had these two, and then I had another one. I don't know. I don't know how it is. I have one of them was.
Is this yours? One of these?
Maybe this. No, maybe that one is mine. The blue one. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I can only go to two. Once I get to three, I miss.
Oh well, that's what happens. You just have to go back to 2 and just keep trying. It takes a while. Our first juggling clubs we made out of soda bottles. We were in South America, and it's harder to get equipment than it was. I don't know. I think probably not so hard now. Soda bottles, a wooden dowel, newspaper inside. Yep. Harder to juggle.
So you had a newspaper rolled on a dowel?
We took a soda bottle and put 2 soda bottles together, a wooden dowel inside for the handle, and then newspaper also just to keep the dowel from moving around. Yeah.
Soda cans are kind of big.
What's that?
Depending on what kind of soda can.
Oh, soda bottle, like a plastic bottle.
That's kind of big.
If you can find the right size, like the not the ones for you bring for a party, one that you might have for individual use. Not like the huge ones, like a smaller one. Yeah, like a water bottle size. Well, bigger than that. Yeah, that plastic water, bigger than that. See that one over there?
No. Well, my right. I'm not throwing my left hand up.
I did it.
The left hand's not working.
I have a question. Is it more of a triangle shape or is it an X?
It's like 2 triangles. Yeah, they're like an M, kind of. Like the path is like here. Right?
Crisscross there.
Yeah.
You have 2 peaks.
2 peaks. Yeah, they're a little different because this hand throws, this is the trajectory and it falls, and this hand throws on an angle and then it falls. So it's like an M, kind of. Yeah. You got it. It looks like it's coming.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, just keep throwing.
I keep forgetting.
That one you stop, that's common. Yeah. Nice. All right.
It goes fast.
So I'm going to leave these.
Okay, that is it for today's session. Bring your juggling balls, all 3 of them, tomorrow, as well as your helmets. We will meet here promptly at 10 to start the next part of our workshop. See you all tomorrow, and thank you.